Hello students. So hope you all are fine. So far we have taken the class through the AppScoop. So now I welcome you all to the YouTube classes. So myself Shruti, and I'll be taking zoology for you people. So just I'm giving you the introduction so that you can be familiar with me. So in the previous classes we have already discussed regarding the animal kingdom. Fine. So animal kingdom and how the classification is made, basis of classification. Right, in little we have already studied, but once again we'll have a glance. Okay. So animal kingdom we have already started. So before starting this chapter, so let us know what you mean by animal definition and how the classification is made and what are the characters which are considered for the classification. Some basic classifications characters we'll study now. So what do you mean by animal? So you already know what is animal, right? Animal, it is nothing but it's a multicellular mortal organism which feeds on the organic materials, right? So what is animal? Animal, it is a multicellular mortal organism. So you already know difference between the multicellular and the unicellular, right? Unicellular means single cell. The animals which are made up of single cell. Okay. Multicellular means many cells. Fine. So here all the animals are multicellular. All the animals are multicellular. Fine. So next, which feeds on the organic matter, and typically they are having specialized sense organs and nervous system. They have specialized sense organs, well developed sense organs are seen in the animals, and well developed nervous system is seen. Fine. So considering all these points, in simple we can say that the animal is a multicellular mortal organism. So once have a glance here. What do you mean by mortal? Mortal means which can move. Okay. Locomotion, or the animals which move from, you already know that the animals, they show the locomotion or the movement, they move from one place to another place. That is the meaning of the motile. And multicellular, you know, multicellular also. Fine. So that's the definition of the animals. So you already know that in our diversity we have got different varieties of animals are there, right? They have got different shape, structure, size, and different specialization in their physiological part, different digestive system, respiratory system, right? In considering all these points, so let us have different features of the animals, right? So next we'll move on to the features of kingdom Animalia, or the animals, or it is also known as metazoa. Metazoa means multicellular animals. Multicellular animals, or it is also known as the metazoa. Fine. So now one by one, let us see what are the features of the animals. So first comes the eukaryotic cells. Fine. So we already studied what is eukaryotic and what is prokaryotic cells. Fine. First comes the eukaryotic. So you know that all the animals, they possess the eukaryotic cells, that they lack cell wall, plastids and the photosynthetic pigments. So generally in the eukaryotic cell animals, they will be not having the cell wall. They lack the cell wall, plastids and the photosynthetic pigments. Right, that is the first one. And next we move on to the second. Second comes the multicellular nature. So all the animals, or all the multicellular organisms, they are organized. That is, the cells are organized into tissue, organ and the organ system. Okay, multicellular. So you already know that in the multicellular, so generally they are all, almost all the organisms are multicellular. That is the higher animals, which is made up of tissue, organ and the organ system. Fine. So all these things we have already studied, but once again I am just revising you how the animals makes multicellular. First, it starts from the cell. That is, the cell, it is organized into tissue, organ and the organ system. Cells, it is organized in tissue, organ and the organ system. Fine. That's about the multicellular animals. Next comes the heterotrophic condition. So what do you mean by heterotrophic condition? Fine. So here heterotrophic, they are unable to synthesize their own food. Heterotrophic animal means the animals which cannot prepare their own food. That means they depend upon the other animals for the food. Fine. So you have studied to another one, that is autotrophs. That plants are autotrophs. Autotrophs means you already know that plants, they prepare their own food, right? Plants, they are commonly known as autotrophs. Whereas animals, they are heterotrophs. They are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs means which depends upon the other animals for their food. That means they cannot synthesize their own food. Okay, or they depend on the other organisms for its existence. That is known as the heterotrophic condition. So next comes the locomotion. So what do you mean by locomotion? Locomotion, or generally it is known as the motile. Locomotion or the motile means the animals, they move from one place to another place. Usually plants are non-motile, whereas animals are motile. That means they move from one place to the another place. They show the locomotion. Next one, sense organs. So again here the animals, they have got well developed sense organs, right? They have well developed sense organs and they have evolved sensory neuromotor system. They have sensory neuromotor system and they are provided with the specialized sense organs to respond to the world. Fine. So sense organs are well developed in these animals. So these are the some of the silent features of the animals. Just once again I will have a glance. Just listen here. So first, what is the animal? Just you have to know the simple definition when we are starting animal kingdom means right from the first definition of animals only you have to know all the terms. What is animal? Animal is a multicellular motile organism which feeds on the organic matter. And it has got specialized sense organs and well developed nervous system. Fine. So what are the features of animal kingdom? First comes they are eukaryotic cells. That means they lack the nuclear cell wall, plastids and the photosynthetic pigments. Second, they are the multicellular in nature. The animals are multicellular. Fine. So again here, these multicellular, they have organized, that is cells are organized into tissue, organ and the organ system. Next, heterotrophic condition. Here, the animals, they cannot synthesize their own food. They depend upon the other organisms. Right? You have to know the definition. Next comes the locomotion. Locomotion, generally it is known as motor. That means the organisms or the animals, they move from one place to another place. Sense organs. So again, the animals, they have got well developed sense organs. Right? So next, we'll move on to the next remaining features. Okay, so next we'll move on to the another character, that is the reproduction. So what do you mean by reproduction? Reproduction, it is nothing, it's a biological process of giving birth to the young ones or giving rise to the progenies. Fine, so you already know this, what do you mean by reproduction and what are the types of reproduction. So again here, all the animals, they show generally in reproduction we have got two types. One is sexual method and another one is the asexual method. Sexual reproduction and the asexual reproduction. So what do you mean by sexual reproduction? So again here, sexual reproduction generally it is seen in the animals, means two parents are involved in the reproduction. Two parents are involved in the reproduction. So again here it depends upon the animals, that either it may be the hermaphrodites or the heteraphrodites. So again I have to, I will come across two terms here. One is the hermaphrodites and another one is the heteraphrodites. Hermaphrodites means both the sex organs are seen in the single organism. Both the sex organs are seen, or the development of both the sex organs are seen in the single animals. So they are known as hermaphrodites. Hetero means separate. Male will be separate and the female will be separate. So again here, sexual reproduction. Here two parents are involved in the reproduction. Fine. Next comes the asexual reproduction. Asexual, it is generally seen in the lower animals. Fine. So again asexual, only one parent is capable of giving birth. One parent is capable of giving birth and it is seen in the lower animals. So you should know the difference between the sexual and the asexual reproduction. Fine. So next comes the development. So again here all the animals, they exhibit the series of progressive developmental stages from an embryo to adult. Fine. So you already know that what is development. Development means the series of progressive developmental stages, series of progressive developmental stages from embryo to the adult. We generally call it as the development. Fine. So again here in the development we will find two types. One is the direct development and another one is the indirect development. You should know the difference between these two. Direct development and indirect development. So what do you mean by direct development? So again here direct development, you will not find any larval stage here. Direct development, what happens? The direct offsprings will be open. We will not find any larval stage in the direct development. Whereas when it comes to the indirect development, we will find the larval stage. Here in the indirect development, we will find the larval stage. That is after the hatching of the egg, you might have seen that you will find example from tadpole larva. Fine. That is commonly called as an indirect development. You should know the difference between direct and the indirect. Fine. So that's about the development. Hope you are clear with the reproduction and the types of reproduction. One is sexual and another one is the asexual. Then development. Fine. Direct and the indirect development. Fine. So these are the characters or these are the features where we consider in the animal kingdom. That is, the animals are, and how do animals distinguish from the other kingdom, that is kingdom Animalia, how it will differ from the other kingdoms based on these features. Right? Just we'll have a glance once again. First comes the eukaryotic cell. That means they have two nucleus. That is, they lack plastids, pigments, photosynthetic pigments and all. Fine. Next, they are the multicellular in nature. Again, multicellular. You already know that all the animals are the metazoans. They are the multicellular. Fine. Then they are heterotrophic condition. Means they depend upon the other organisms for the food. Means they cannot synthesize their own food. Next, locomotion. All the animals, they exhibit the locomotion. That is the motile. They move from one place to another place. Next, they have got well developed sense organs. Then reproduction, that is give rise to the young ones. Then development. Right. So these are the important features which are exhibited by the animal kingdom. So next we'll move on to the other important part of this chapter, that is the basis of the classification. So far we have discussed regarding the silent features of the animal kingdom, right? So next we'll move on to the what are the basis of the classification, right? So again here, why we should study the basis of classification, right? In our animal kingdom we have got different varieties of animals, right? From unicellular, that is from amoeba, to the larger blue whales. Right, different varieties, millions of species are there, right? So again, all these animals based on their characteristic features, based on their size, shape, organs, based on their complete morphology and physiological functions, they have been classified. Like different organization and different classification is made. So one by one in detail, we'll study what are the basis of classification of the animal kingdom. Right. So first comes the grade of organization. Right. So what do you mean by grade of organization? Right from the lower animals to the higher animals, though they have got different complexity. So again the same way here in the grade of organization, in which grade which organisms will come. Neatly they have been organized. Fine. Just to help for the study purpose, the animals have been classified based on the level of organization. Okay. So again now, first that is in the grade of organization. Before moving, what do you mean by grade? Grade, it is nothing but the group of organisms that share the same level of organizational complexity. Which share the same level of organizational complexity is known as the grade. Fine. So again here in this grade of organization, we are dealing with three types. First comes the cellular level of organization. Next, tissue level of organization, and third comes the organ system level of organization, right? So one by one we'll see now. First comes the cellular level of organization. So again here in this, the body, it consists of only cells. Fine. Generally it is seen in the lower animals, where you will not find any development of tissues and the organs. Only cells are there and they perform the independent function. You will not find any development of organs, tissues in these animals. So generally here they are seen, example is the porifera, right? Examples you have to keep in mind. In the cellular level, generally all the poriferans, they comes under the cellular level of organization. So what do you mean by cellular level of organization? The body consists of cells and are not organized into tissue. Fine. That's commonly known as the cellular level of organization. Second comes the tissue level of organization. So again here slightly higher to the cellular level. Here in the tissue level, you see the development. That is you know what is cell and what is tissue, what is organ. What is cell? Cell is nothing but it's a basic unit of the life. Tissue, the group of cells will make a tissue, right? So here generally all the animals, multicellular animals, they comes under the, they have the tissue level of organization, right? The body is multicellular and some cells they become specialized and for the specific function just to increase the efficiency, and the specialized group of cells are organized into the tissue. Okay. So what do you mean by tissue? The specialized group of cells are organized into tissue, or the group of cells will make a tissue. Fine. So what happens in the tissue level of organization? Generally it is seen in the multicellular animals, and here the cells they have become specialized for the specific function and to increase the efficiency. Right? So example is the coelacanths. Example is the coelacanths. Next comes the organ system level of organization. So again here it is slightly higher than the tissue level. Fine. So again now what do you mean by organ system? So generally simple we can say that the group of tissue will make a organ and the group of organ will make a organ system. Whereas when it comes to the organ system level of organization, two or more organs work together to perform a specific body function. They form the organ system. Fine. That is the group of organs will make a organ system. Right. Then the group of organ system will make a organism. Right. So these are the basis of the classification. Just have a glance. So in the basis of classification, first we are dealing with the grade of organization. So again in grade of organization, the first level is the cellular level of organization. Next tissue level of organization. Next organ system level of organization. And last comes the organism. So that is cell, tissue, organ system, and the complete group of organ system will make a organism. Like initially keep in mind the life it starts from the cell. Group of cell will make a tissue, and the group of tissue will make a organ, and the group of organ will make a organ system, and the complete group of organ system will make a organism. So that's about the first basis of classification, that is the grade of organization. Okay, so next we'll move on to the second basis of classification, that is the body wall. So we'll have a glance. What is the body wall definition and what are the types? Okay. So second part is the body wall. What do you mean by body wall? The embryonic layer developed during the development of an organism. The embryonic layer which is developed during the development of an organism is known as body wall. Okay. So again here we can say body wall, or we can also call it as the germ layers. Fine. So what do you mean by body wall? The embryonic layer, that is during the development of the embryo, the embryonic layer which is developed, we commonly call it as the body wall. So again here, based on these germ layers, the organisms are classified into two types. Based on the germ layer or based on the body wall, the animals are classified into two types. One is diploblastic animals and another one is the triploblastic animals. Right. One is diploblastic and the one is the triploblastic. So what do you mean by diploblastic? Diploblastic organisms. So diploblastic organisms, here you will see that these animals, they have got two germ layers. These organisms in diploblastic animals, they are made up of two germ layers, which are those, the outer is the ectoderm and the inner is the endoderm. Only two germ layers will be there. One is the ectoderm and another one is the endoderm. So in between these two layers we will find the mesoglea. In between these two, instead of mesoderm, they are made up of mesoglea. Okay. So example have to keep in mind definition and the example. So diploblastic example is the coelentrates. Fine. So this diploblastic animals, diploblastic means the animals they are having the two germ layers, outer ectoderm and inner is the endoderm. Fine. So what do you mean by diploblastic? Here these animals or these organisms they are made up of three germ layers. Triplo, tri or triplo means they are made up of three germ layers. Which are those? Outer ectoderm, inner endoderm and middle mesoderm. In between the outer and the that is outer ectoderm and the inner endoderm, between these two layers in middle it is made up of another layer which is known as the mesoderm. Right. So due to the presence of these three layers they are known as the triploblastic animals. So example for the triploblastic is the from platyhelminthes to chordates, including human beings, they are triploblastic animals. Fine. Hope it is clear. So based on the body wall or based on the germ layers, the animals are classified into two types. One is triploblastic and another one is the diploblastic. Fine. So what do you mean by diploblastic? Diploblastic means the animals they are made up of two germ layers, outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. Example, coelentrates. Triploblastic means they are made up of three germ layers, outer ectoderm, inner endoderm and middle mesoderm. Fine. Example from platyhelminthes. You can give any examples including human beings. Is it clear? That is the second point, body wall. So next we will move on to the third basis of classification,